Hello and welcome back to War Against Darkness. We are in the middle of delving through the secret temple of Tamas Zeya in the town of Amber Hill. We just recently joined the Adventurers Guild in Amber Hill. After losing some money at the gambling hall, we decided to walk the town looking for any interesting rumors, and someone tipped us off that there was a secret dungeon hidden underneath the temple of Tamas Zeya. So we decided to explore it. We've explored it a little bit. In this room over here, number 3, we encountered a dragon, which was pretty impressive. We managed to take it down, although it did deal quite a bit of damage to us. So we do have to be a little careful of our HP as we finish this dungeon up. Now, the quest said the dungeon is 7 rooms long. It did not say what to do once you reach the 7th room. I'm assuming you just roll a final boss and then the dungeon is over and you can leave. I believe this also counts as an adventure, which means that after we leave, we end the month and we deduct 10% from our Adventurers Guild, which is going to be 500 gold. We're not going to make anywhere close to 500 gold on this mission, so it is going to be a loss probably, but hopefully we will have some more profitable missions in the future. Anyways, let's get to delving. We're gonna start by going through this door right here. Well, we're gonna check the door first. We rolled a 6. It is a locked door. Uh-oh. HCL plus D6. Okay, let's see what level the locked door is. It is level 8. Because our highest character level is 3, plus 5 is 8. So we will put west door is locked. Level 8. And we'll have Rayan take a crack at it. She rolls plus L, so she basically has to roll a 5 or higher to unlock the door. And she rolls a 6, so she successfully unlocks the door. That's good. The last time we encountered a locked door, it did not go that well. So let's roll to see what this room is to the west here. We roll 5-1, which is this forked corridor. Alright. And this is 5, and it is a corridor. Let's roll for content. In this corridor, we rolled a 5. This tile is empty and may be searched. In dungeons, roll on the special feature table. So there will be a special feature in this corridor. And then after we see what the special feature is, we will search it. So let's see. 2. Blessed Temple or Shrine. A PC of your choice gains +1 on attack rolls against undead foes or demons. As soon as the PC kills an undead or demon, no matter if a minor or major foe, the bonus disappears. Okay. So, who do we want to give that to? I think we'll give it to Kera. I don't think it's going to help Rayan much because she has a very little chance of actually hitting anything. So I think we're going to give it to Kera. I'll underline it so that we know that it's an extra bonus. And once Kera kills anything, then she loses that bonus. So now we get to search. Here's the search table. We roll a 2, the tile is empty. Now we've got 2 doors to check. Let's check this one first. We roll a 7, the door is unlocked. So now let's see what room we get. 3, 4. This right here. Something like that. It's a dead end regardless. And we'll see what is in it. We get 8. It is a minion encounter, because if it is a room, roll on the minions table. So we get our first encounter of the video. Let's see who it is against. Hobgoblins. D6 hobgoblins. And so let's roll to see how many hobgoblins. 6. Okay. And these are kind of tough. They're going to be level 6 because they're HCL plus 6. So a pretty tough encounter, I think, to start off this video. We'll see how our party handles it. I might have Tanyth try a sleep spell here. So let's just get Tanyth's character sheet ready, since I have a feeling that is what I will be doing. So Hobgoblin's HCL plus 3, that's level 6. Treasure plus 1, no special properties, just regular level 6 enemies. So I think we're going to start with Tanyth. He's going to cast Sleep, and he's going to use his Spellwoven ability to allow him to cast Sleep without it costing anything. So he's going to open with a Sleep cast. He gains plus L when casting spells, so he needs to roll 3 or higher for a successful Sleep roll. And he rolls a 6. Alright, I actually forgot to put the 6 circles representing the enemy here. And we roll d6 plus L to determine how many enemies Tanyth puts to sleep. 3 plus 3 is 6. He puts all of them to sleep. And then once we've subdued them, we can just kill them. So we instantly end the encounter. That's good. We use one of our spell casts, but we don't have to deal with what might have been a tricky encounter when some of our characters are already at pretty low health. And we need to fight a final boss soon, so I would rather conserve our resources for that final boss. So we gain 1/10 of an XP roll, and we roll treasure plus 1. We roll a 4, a jewel worth 2d6 times 5. GP. We roll 8. 8 times 5. That's 40. That's not bad. So we'll give it to Tanyth. 40 GP. Jewel. Alright, that was a pretty quick encounter, thanks to sleep. So it looks like our last room is going to be right here, unless this door ends up being locked and we can't get in. But first, we have to roll for wandering monsters on our way from 6 to 5. We roll a 3. So no wandering monsters, backtracking to 5. Now we have to roll on the door table. We roll a 5, that's a locked door, HCL plus D6. That is level 7 locked door. Let's see how Ryan does. She rolls a 2. Failed to unlock the door. Now, we could try to do what we did in the last dungeon and try bashing down the door, but after how poorly that went in the previous dungeon, everyone universally agrees that that's a bad idea, and we're just going to look for another way to go. And so let's backtrack to 4. We roll for wandering monsters again. We roll 4, so no wandering monsters. Now let's roll this door right here. We roll 4 plus 4 is 8. Unlocked door. Let's just see before we go through this unlocked door. This is going to have the final boss, so do we want to do any healing before the fight starts? Okay, so I think Rain and Kera are both going to use their bandages, but I don't think we're going to have Kera use any of her heal spells. We'll save them for the battle. So Rain and Kera are both going to use bandages. Oh, Kera didn't have a bandage. I thought I bought her one. I definitely did buy her one, but I forgot to add it to her character sheet. We'll just say we used it now. But when I did the shopping in the previous part, I definitely subtracted 20 GP for bandages. So I definitely did buy her one. And then Rain is going to use hers. Alright. Let's enter this final room and see what our boss encounter is. Well, first let's start with the shape of the room, which does matter because whether or not it is a corridor or a room will determine the way the boss is fought. Oh, and I'm also going to make it clear now. Tanyth is going to equip his magic bow before we enter the fight, so he is going to get a shot off with his bow before the fight starts. We roll 3-6. And it is a room. It is this room right here. Connects right there, but that doesn't really matter because we're leaving right after this fight. I don't think I drew that right. Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. And so, 7. Let's see what our final boss is. Oh man, And it's another dragon. And this is going to be a final boss dragon this time. So the difference between a final boss and a regular boss fight is that the final boss has 1 extra HP, 1 extra attack, and they always fight. You cannot roll for reaction. So the dragon is HCL plus 5, that's level 8. Normally has 5 life, but this one will have 6. And when it does its claw attack, instead of attacking 2 times, it will attack 3 times. And let's read the description of the young dragon again, just in case you didn't see the last video. HCL plus 5 boss, tier plus 4 life, 2 attacks, 3 treasure rolls at plus 1, immune to sleep. On each of its turns, roll d6. On a 1 to 2, it breathes fire. All PCs must save versus level 6 breath or lose 2 life. All add half L to the save. On a 3 to 6, it attacks 2 random targets for 1 damage. Since it's a final boss, it will attack 3 random targets. Never encountered as a wandering monster. Okay, so they were apparently keeping 2 dragons underneath this temple. We're going to start with Tanyth firing an arrow from his enchanted bow. So let's mark off one of his arrows. And here we go. He rolls a 1, so it is a miss. The bonuses do not apply. If you roll a 1, it is an automatic miss. So now everyone else is going to go. Let's start with Lormac. He also rolls a 1. I forgot to put this here. Rayan. She rolls a 6, okay. And another 6, that's 12. That's already a hit. And 16 minus 1 is 15. So she does 1 damage to the dragon. Rayan, pretty good against these dragons. Against all odds, she manages to get these hits in. And Kera has that plus 1, but it only works against undead and demons, so she doesn't get that. She just gets her normal half L bonus against enemies, which is 1 plus her 2-handed hammer. Gives her an extra bonus. So she gets a plus 2. She still needs to roll a 6 to hit. And she rolls a 2. So only Rayan managed to get a hit on the first turn. Let's now roll for the dragon's attack. 1 to 2, it's flame breath. 3 to 6, it is claw attacks. And it's going to be claw attacks. The dragon attacks randomly, so we will roll the d4 to determine who gets hit. First is Rayan. Second. Why do I have such a hard time picking this thing up? Second was Kera. And third was Lormac. Lormac negates 1 damage if he gets hit. I forgot to mention that in the last video, and I had him take hits when he shouldn't have a couple times. So let's have these 3 roll for defense. So, none of them successfully defend. So Rayan and Kera take 1 damage. Lormac does not, because he has a trait called Tough as Stone, which means he does not take his first damage in the encounter. Now we're going to have Tanyth do something special again. He's going to cast his lightning spell this time. So he gets plus L. He needs to roll a 5 or higher to deal damage. So Tanyth rolls a 6. His lightning spell is successful. Lightning deals 2 damage to the enemy, so he deals 2 damage to the dragon. That's nice. it's Lormak's turn. Lormak rolls a 5. Plus 5 is 10. That's enough to deal 1 damage. The final boss always fights to the death, so it does not do a morale roll, but it does lose 1 level when it goes to under half health, like all major foes. So again, we're really holding our own against these dragons. Rain's turn. She rolls a 2. That's a miss. And Kera. Yeah, I will have her attack. But if Rain gets hit this turn, I'm going to have Kera heal her next turn. Kera gets a 6, potentially getting a hit in. She rolls a 9. That's enough to deal 1 damage. So again, we're getting this dragon down pretty quick. But the dragon could still make this scary for us. So what does the dragon do? Rolls a 4, so it's going to attack 3 times. First target is Rain. Second target is Rain again. Oh no. Please no. It targeted Rain 3 times. Okay, but this is not a Tobias situation, because we're almost certainly going to kill this dragon, so even if Rain does die, we can take her body out of the dungeon and get her resurrected in town. I don't want Rain to die. So let's go first defense roll. She rolls a 5. Plus 3 is enough, so she defends once, so she's not going to die. Next, she rolls a 4. That's not enough. And a 1, so she takes 2 damage narrowly, hanging onto her life. To start this next turn, we're going to have Kera cast heal on Rain. So she rolls a 2. Plus 2 is 4, healing Rain up to 5 HP. Okay. Ooh, that was a little scary. Now, Lormak is going to attack. He rolls a 6. That's going to be enough. Lormak, the Dragon Slayer, takes down the final boss. Amazing. So there we go. I'm not going to forget to roll treasure this time. But first, our XP roll. We're going to give the XP roll to Kera. And she rolls a 1, so she fails the XP roll. So she stays at level 2 for now. So we get 3 rolls at +1. And the way the final boss rules work is that if you roll GP, the GP value is tripled, I believe? Yes, the GP value is tripled, and if you roll a magic item, you get 2 magic items instead. And that's amazing because we fought a boss that has 3 treasure rolls, so we get those benefits for all 3 rolls. So our first roll, 2d6 GP. It's +1, so we actually get a random wizard spell. And since it was the final boss, we get 2 random wizard spells. We get sleep and lightning. Let's give both of those to Tamas. Roll number 2. Again, more scrolls. I would like something better, maybe a jewel or something, but we'll take it for now. And those are both blessing scrolls. I think we'll give those. I think those to Kera. So let's do our final treasure roll, hopefully some gold. Oh, we get magic treasure. That's also very nice. So we get 2 magic treasures. Let's see what our magic treasure is. Ooh, a fireball staff. Well, this can only be used by wizards, so we're going to be selling that. May as well give it to Lormac then. It's worth 60 GP, or 60 GP per charge remaining, so about 120 GP. And our second magic treasure will be another magic weapon. Wow. We've gotten so many magic weapons in this campaign. Let's see what it is this time. A crushing light weapon. Nobody in our party really uses that. I guess we could give it to Ran. To be honest, I don't really even know what a crushing light weapon is. I guess it would be like an iron knuckle or something. We'll put like magical knuckle. Some kind of like magical gauntlet meant for punching. So there we go. Now all we have to do is make it out of the dungeon alive. And without getting robbed. Alright, let's make our way out of the dungeon. So we'll move from 7 to 4. No wandering monsters, and from 4 to 1. And we get wandering monsters in 1. Uh-oh. Let's see what it is. Wandering monsters table. It's a boss. We get ambushed by a boss on the way out of the dungeon. No way. And what boss is it gonna be? It's an ogre. It looks like the ogre. His attacks deal 2 damage instead of just 1. Okay. Well, I think we can handle the ogre, personally. Doesn't seem too tough. Only level 7 instead of level 8. So the ogre is level 7. It has tier plus 4 life. That's 5 life because we are tier 1. And it gets to attack first. And it attacks our party members in the rear. So that's the thing we have to keep in mind. It's going to be fighting against Kera and Tanyth. And Lormac and Ran have to use ranged attacks. That's going to be bad for them. I actually don't even think Ran has a ranged weapon, because she has a melee in one hand and the lantern in the other, so she actually can't do anything at all. We're going to have him target Tanyth first. I believe Tanyth has to roll a 6 to defend. And he does not, so Tanyth takes 1 HP of damage. Oh no, he takes 2, because this guy deals 2. Okay. Let's have Tanyth bring out the big guns. use his final sleep cast on this ogre. He needs to roll a 4 or higher. And he doesn't. The sleep cast fails. So he wastes a turn. And Lormac is going to attack from range. He does not get his level bonus when attacking from range. Dwarves only get their level bonus when they're attacking in melee. So he has to roll a 6 to land any damage, and he does. Wow, okay. So Lormac rolls a 6. And another 6, that's 12. 15. That's enough to deal 2 damage to the ogre. Very nice, Lormac. He gets off 2 quick bow shots, and both of them land. Very nice. Whoever said a dwarf couldn't handle a bow. Alright, it's Kera's turn. And she also rolls a 6. And a 5, so she deals 11. Plus 2 is 13, enough to deal 1 damage. And the ogre, I believe, rolls for morale now. Well, it loses 1 level. And it rolls for morale. So if it rolls a 1 through 3, it runs away. And it does not, so it's going to stay and fight. So it's going to attack again. It's going to target Tanyth once again. Tanyth rolls a 3, taking 2 more damage. And now this next turn, we're going to have Kera cast another heal on Tanyth. So Kera casts heal once again. And she rolls a 6 and a 2. So Tanyth's going to go back up to full health, which is 7. So Tanyth back up to full health. Now Lormac is going to attack with his bow. Misses this time. And Tanyth attacks and also misses. Alright. So the ogre goes again, and he's going to attack Tanyth again. Tanyth rolls a 5, not enough to defend. He needs a 6 to defend against the ogre. So he takes 2 more damage. Alright. Once again, let's have Lormac attack with his bow. He rolls a 5, not enough because he gets no bonus with the bow. So that's not enough to get a hit in. Tanyth rolls a 3 plus 3. I believe because, wait, what does he have for a weapon? Yes, he has a plus 0 weapon. He gets 3 for his level bonus, so that is enough to deal 1 damage to the ogre. And now Kera, can Kera finish off this ogre? She does not, because she only gets 2 added. 1 for her 2-handed hammer and 1 for her level bonus, so the ogre, still alive, gonna attack Tanyth once again. Rayan just watching. Tanyth rolls a 2, taking 2 more damage. And now, let's go again. Lormac attacking with the bow, and he rolls a 6, taking out the ogre. He lands a fatal shot, finishing off the ogre. So we get a treasure roll, a normal treasure roll plus 0, and we get an XP roll. We're gonna give the XP roll to Kera again. And this time it's successful. She levels up to level 3. She doesn't actually get any bonus from that except when attacking undead. And since we're going to be leaving the dungeon, I'm going to get rid of this. I do not think the blessing carries over from dungeon to dungeon, so. And she gets 1 life recovered. And we'll update her character sheet. dungeon run, which is nice after how poorly the last one went. It was a short dungeon, so our party shouldn't be too impressed with themselves, but at least we managed to get out. So we're going to go back in town and we're going to do some town stuff before we end this video. So, I forgot to keep track of how much gold we earned, so we have to give 50% of it to the guild. And then we have to subtract 10% from the guild. I'm going to do all that stuff off screen, and then I'll just put on screen what the damage was. I'm pretty sure we definitely did not get 500 GP worth of stuff to pay for the guild expenses. But we did earn a little bit of gold for ourselves. And from reading the rules, I believe once you play an adventure, that means the month is over and you move on to the next month. And I will update the guild coffers and party gold off camera. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rest our party back to full health. And I believe that is going to be 4 days of rest. That should bring everyone back up to full. We also refresh our spells. Oh, I forgot to update. We did put to sleep a group of hobgoblins, and I believe they were level 6. And there were 6 of them, so 6 times 6 is 36, which puts him at 60. Almost has that Slumber Master trait. So that was 4 days of rest. Next, we're going to do a little shopping. There's 2 things I'm interested in buying. The main thing I'm interested in buying is a treasure map. Let me just make sure we're going to have enough gold to do that. Okay, so a treasure map costs 5d6 GP, and if you roll a 6, it does explode. So a treasure map could potentially be very expensive. So here we've got 4, 9, 11, 17, 23, 25. So 25 GP for a treasure map. We can pay that. I haven't calculated how much gold we have left, but I'm pretty sure we have at least 25 GP. So we're going to buy a treasure map. We're also going to buy 2 bandages for 10 GP. Now I don't think we get the guild discount for the treasure map. But we do get the guild discount for the bandages, which will end up being 1 GP, so we only pay 9 for the bandages instead of 10. Let's add those bandages to our party. So we're back in post once again. So I did a few things. First, I went through the last 2 videos and added up all the money we earned. It ended up being 51 GP worth of gold and jewels. So 25 of that ends up going to the guild. I already calculated up how much is in the guild coffers. We spent 500 because 10% per adventure gets spent on supplies, and then the extra 25 gets added, so we ended up losing about 475 gold for that adventure. I don't actually know how we're going to keep up with expenses unless these adventures start getting us much bigger rewards. And that left our party with 69 gold, so we bought the treasure map for 25 GP, we bought the bandages, and I also forgot something very important, which was the gremlin repellent. This means that if we get robbed by invisible gremlins again, they will ignore the items that we put the repellent on, and I put it on our 3 magical weapons that we got in the last dungeon. So if we get robbed by invisible gremlins again, they will not take Lormax's magic battle axe, Tanyth's magic bow, or Rayan's magical knuckle. They'll just steal other stuff instead, but those are our most valuable items, so it's good that we won't get those stolen. However, there is one other thing that, and the main reason why I'm recording this right now. We forgot to roll for treasure after the ogre. Now, I believe the ogre does not give anything special for treasure. I'm just going to check real quick. Yes, the ogre just gives 1 standard treasure roll. So let's do 1 roll on the treasure table. We get 1d6 GP. Well, that was totally worth getting the camera out now, wasn't it? We got 2 GP from the ogre. So I guess we will raise the guild coffers up to 6. They take 1 more GP, and we'll give Tobias here actually, I think we have to give it to Lormac. Those are the rules. Okay, so now Lormac has 1 GP, and we give 1 extra GP to the guild. Well, that's pretty funny, honestly. Okay, so back to the main video. Now for day 6, we are going to follow the treasure map. Now, since we're in a guild, the guild cartographers will help us weed out fake maps. We can alter our roll on the treasure map table by 1 either upwards or downwards, but a roll of 1 remains a 1. So, here is the following the treasure map table. Let's roll on it. D6. We roll a 4. The map contains accurate but incomplete information. The next time the party buys another map, the info from this map will give a 1-time +1 bonus when rolling on this table. However, if you apply the bonus, a roll of a natural 1 still counts as a death trap. If you roll this result multiple times, you may use the various +1 bonuses cumulatively on a single roll or on separate rolls as desired. Okay, well, we can either alter it to waste of time or the real deal. I think we're gonna do the real deal, obviously. So the map leads to a true treasure. Roll d6 on the map leads to table and play out the result. So we roll d6. We roll 1, a complex of underground caves. Generate a random dungeon using the standard 4AD tables and rules. Do not roll for content in the entrance room. The dungeon ends after d6 plus 3 rooms. From that point, all unopened doors and passages are considered dead ends. The last room automatically contains a boss monster with double the maximum treasure available and 2 additional life points. If you have twisted dungeons, which I do, we will use that. Roll twice on the table there and choose the result that seems more appropriate. So I'm not sure what double the maximum treasure available means. I guess it means a 6 on the treasure table, which would be magic treasure, and then we roll it twice. I don't know. I'm not sure how to interpret that. But that is what we will do on our next 4 Against Darkness video, and we'll be introducing another new expansion, Twisted Dungeons, so that'll be fun. However, I think I'm going to take a break for one video from 4 Against Darkness. The next time I do a tabletop video that is not solitaire, we're going to play something else just for one video, and then we'll go back to 4 Against Darkness. The game I want to play is called Mini Rogue. I heard about this game from the channel The Dungeon Delve, and it looked really interesting, so I went out and I bought it for myself, and I've played a few dungeons of it, and it's really fun. So we will take a short break from 4 Against Darkness to play a different dungeon crawling game, and then we will return to 4 Against Darkness to play this dungeon. I just figured I'd do that because we've done 7 videos of 4 Against Darkness now. I think that's more than any other series I've done on this channel. But I know you all are enjoying it so much because you leave such nice comments on these videos. So don't worry, 4 Against Darkness is not going to be gone for too long. We're just going to take a quick break and play something else that I thought was interesting. So yeah, thank you for watching once again. And thank you for all the support that you all leave on my videos. I appreciate it so much. I hope you all have a great rest of your night and sleep well. Bye.